The Battle of Detmold took place in 783, during the period when Charlemagne, or Charles the Great, waged a decades-long campaign to conquer Saxony. Saxony at that time was a region located in northern Germany, populated mainly by Saxons with a strong pagan culture and religion. Wars between Charlemagne's Frankish army and the Saxons were continuous, with Charlemagne's goal being to expand the territory and consolidate the dominance of the Carolingian Empire. The Saxons, under the leadership of their leader Witikind, were famous for their courage and determination to defend their independence. The Battle of Detmold was one of the most important battles, marking a turning point in the war between the two sides. To prepare for the Battle of Detmold, Charlemagne mobilized a powerful military force from all over his empire. The Frankish army consisted of infantry, cavalry, and archer units, equipped with the best weapons and armor of the time. Charlemagne also arranged for abundant supplies of food and weapons to ensure his troops could maintain strength throughout the campaign. On the other side, Witikind and the Saxons were no less determined. They concentrated their forces at Detmold, a strategic location with complex terrain, to create an advantage in the war. The Saxons believed that with knowledge of the terrain and courage, they could defeat the Frankish invaders. Charlemagne's army undertook a defiant march to Detmold. They had to overcome the dense forests and difficult terrain of Saxony. Although the road was difficult, thanks to close organization and strict discipline, the Frankish army reached Detmold without encountering any major obstacles. When they arrived, they set up camp and prepared for the coming battle. The Saxon army, under the leadership of Witikind, had also gathered at Detmold and was ready to face the enemy. The confrontation between these two powerful forces promises to be a fierce and uncompromising battle. The Battle of Detmold began with sporadic fighting between landscape units on both sides. The Saxons, taking advantage of their knowledge of the terrain, conducted many surprise ambushes on the Franks. They used forests and hills as hiding places and attacked suddenly. However, the Frank army, with good equipment and tight organization, quickly reacted and repelled these attacks. Charlemagne recognized the importance of keeping his soldiers' morale and discipline, and ordered cavalry and archer units to prepare for larger attacks. These opening skirmishes are not only an initial challenge, but also a prelude to the actual battle. The official battle at Detmold broke out with a full-scale attack from the Frankish army. Under the direct command of Charlemagne, the Franks strongly attacked the defensive positions of the Saxon army. The Frankish cavalry, with their strength and speed, played a key role in breaking the enemy ranks. The Frankish infantry and archer units also worked closely together, creating an unstoppable attack power. The Saxons, though fighting with courage and fortitude, but before the fierce and organized attack of the Franks, they were gradually pushed back. Witikind, realizing the critical situation, tried to organize counterattacks but could not change the situation. After many hours of fierce fighting, the Saxon army began to appear exhausted and gradually lost fighting spirit. The Frankish army, thanks to its strict organization and discipline, completely dominated the battlefield. The Saxon units were divided and unable to coordinate effectively, leading to the collapse of the defensive formation. Witikind and several Saxon commanders were forced to retreat to preserve their remaining forces. Their flight marked the end of the Battle of Detmold, which was won by Charlemagne. The Franks had complete control of the battlefield and began taking measures to consolidate their control in Saxony. The victory at Detmold had many important consequences for both sides. For Charlemagne, this victory not only consolidated his control in Saxony, but also created a great influence over other territories in the empire. Many Saxon leaders had to submit to Charlemagne and accept Christianity, marking a great step forward in the process of Christianizing Northern Europe. For the Saxons, this defeat was a great shock, weakening their resistance and exposing them to great change in their religious and social life. Wittekind, although he continued to resist, his and the Saxons' strength was greatly reduced. The Battle of Detmold left a profound legacy in European history. It not only affirmed Charlemagne's leadership and military talent, but also contributed to shaping the future of the Northern European region. This victory paved the way for the consolidation of territories under Charlemagne's control, paving the way for the development of the Carolingian Empire. The Christianization of the region was also strongly promoted, deeply influencing the culture and religion of the peoples in Northern Europe. The legacy of the Battle of Detmold lives on in European history and culture, testifying to the region's transition from pagan to Christian times under the leadership of one of Europe's greatest kings, Europe. The Battle of Detmold is a symbol of Charlemagne's determination, strategic ingenuity, and foresight in expanding and consolidating his empire.